Recording has started.
I am sharing my screen. Uh, so again, thank you for joining today's class. Uh, so yesterday, just a look back at what we saw yesterday. So we started with Matillion's basics, like what exactly the Matillion is, how it performs the ELT operations, right, and um, uh, what all you can see what all things we can do with the Matillion, right? So Matillion, you can for now just assume that it's an ELT tool. So whatever the ELT jobs those we can develop with other tools, the same can be done with the Matillion for Snowflake as well. Okay. uh, there are different you can say additional features with Matillion provide compared to other ETL tools, and then those we will look at in next few sessions. Then we have seen about the different product offerings from Matillion. So uh, so Matillion has a different platform specific product, right? So for Snowflake, Matillion has product called Matillion for Snowflake, right? So what does that mean is uh, uh, you know uh, when you have a Snowflake as a cloud data warehouse, right? That means you need to select Matillion for Snowflake product. Okay. Similarly, if let's say your company has decided to have your cloud data warehouse as in Redshift, then you will launch an AMI for Matillion for Redshift. Okay, and similarly for Google, BigQuery, and Azure and others. Okay. Now, as we have seen yesterday, that Matillion for Snowflake can be launched on any of these three major cloud providers, right? So Matillion for Snowflake can be launched on AWS, that can be launched on Google Cloud Platform GCP, and that can be launched on the Azure, Microsoft Azure as well. Okay. Having said that, if you want to launch the Amazon Redshift, you would be able to launch only on AWS environment. Okay. This is because if you see the AWS, GCP, and Azure, these are the cloud competitors, right? So they are the cloud providers and they are the cloud competitors. So, like the GCP won't allow the Amazon Redshift data warehouse to be launched on their platform. Okay. And due to that restriction, and since if you see the Snowflake is not a competitor to any of these cloud providers, right? It's a data warehouse, correct? So that's why the Matillion for Snowflake can be launched in AWS, GCP, or Azure Synapse, right? Then we have seen the Matillion architecture. So so if you see here, we have one VPC, right? Within the one VPC we have another public subnet, and within that subnet we launch an Matillion, right? So always remember that when we say that we are launching an Matillion, so we are actually launching an EC2 machine, right? Within an AWS, right? And when you launch EC2 machine, so what exactly happens is as we are launching through AWS AMI, right, Amazon Machine Image, so that EC2 machine, uh, on the top of that we have one Tomcat server. Okay, so Matillion is an application, right? So just like you log into Facebook, or you log into other Gmail, like with over an HTTPS, right? So Facebook is also an application, right? And to run an application, we need an application server, correct? Or to host an application, we need an application server, right? So that is where the Tomcat comes into picture. Okay, so we have one EC2. On the top of that EC2, we we have the Tomcat server installed. Okay, and on the top of the Tomcat server, we have the Matillion application. Okay, uh, then for Matillion to store some internal metadata, so that Matillion stores that in Postgre RDS database. Okay, and there are two instances. One is the primary and one is the secondary. That is master and slave. RDS instance gets launched. Okay, and those are specifically in the private subnet, right? So why do these two are in private subnet, right? So if you see Matillion, we need to access the Matillion from outside of our VPC, right? Correct. So that public access needs to be there for Matillion. That's why, this is basically cloud team will, come back to you saying that yes, we need to launch that application in public subnet. However, this Postgre RDS, that is, not needed for us, right? And that is only needed for internally for the Matillion. Then, and that's why they have launched in the private subnet. And within a VPC, right, there would always be an accessibility from public subnet to private subnet. Okay, so that is why an EC2 machine which is launched in public subnet will be able to store its metadata, or will be able to connect to these two RDS instances. Okay. Uh, then we have seen about how to launch the Matillion, right? So if you remember, the Matillion can be launched from the Matillion hub. So the Matillion hub is nothing but a, you can say, a single place which is provided by Matillion, where you can manage all of your Matillion instances, right? So if you know, let's say if your company has an enterprise level, you can say, agreement with Matillion, right? There would be multiple teams who will use the Matillion, right? So all of such instances can be managed from a single place, that is called Matillion hub. Okay, so then all, then it's billing and all everything, right? So billing can also be managed from the Matillion hub. Okay, then in terms of launching, when you try to launch the Matillion, if you see the previous video, right, it will ask you for two things primarily. Okay, it will first ask you on which cloud platform you want to launch the Matillion. Okay, do you want to launch it in on AWS platform, or an GCP platform, or the Azure platform, right? These are the three major cloud providers, right? Once you select any of these cloud platform, the next thing, while launching the Matillion, it will ask you, what is your cloud data warehouse? Which is your cloud data warehouse, right? Whether it's a Snowflake or Redshift or Delta Lake or Azure Synapse, anything, or Google BigQuery, right? So once you select that, then as per your selection, right, if you select an AWS and if you select your cloud data warehouse as Snowflake, okay, it then you will redirect to an AWS console, and there you will be able to launch that specific AMI. Okay, right? And while launching, as we have seen yesterday, we need to set up or select the VPC, in which VPC we need to launch our Matillion. Within that, we need to select the public subnet, right? And we also need to select the role as well, right? IAM role. So with the IAM role, it is similar to what we have in Snowflake, right? Okay. So in Snowflake, what do? So we create a role, right? We give some, we provide some permission to that role, right? Like the permission to create database, permission to create tables, permission to access some schema, right? Or the permission to create a file format, right? And then that role we assign to a Snowflake user, right? We don't directly assign the privileges to the Snowflake user. No. What do? We create a role, assign some permission, and then we attach that role to a Snowflake user, right? That is exactly same we do when we attach an IAM role to an EC2 machine, right? So uh, whatever the AWS services that our EC2 needs access, those permissions we need to provide to that EC2. But we're not providing that directly to EC2, but what do is we create one IAM role, and to that IAM role we attach those policies, and then that IAM role gets attached to the EC2 machine, right? Okay, right. And uh, later we have also, we have the Matlin also needs the some EBS storage, and that minimum storage is which is the 40 GB. Okay, so the EBS storage is nothing but, you can just say, the hard disk, right? The way when we install our any software in our laptop, right? So that needs certain space, correct? Right? So it is same. We're attaching the hard disk to our EC2 machine. Okay, and attaching it with so minimum space required is 40 GB, right? Yeah. Now, so today, before setting up our project and all, we'll look at the clustered instances. Okay, so clustered instances is usually required for the big team size, or something like 20 or 25 concurrent users. Okay, so The only difference between the single instance and clustered instance is, instead of launching in one instance, in clustered instances the two instances gets launched. Okay, so two Matillion instances in two different public subnets, those gets launched. Okay, and then definitely, since these two are different machines, definitely they will have their two independent IP addresses, right? But for user, there would be a single IP address provided by application load balancer, ALB. Okay, so when user log in using in this ALB, okay, so he or she doesn't know that which exactly to which Matlin instance, either in AZ1 or AZ2, that he is logged in. He's logged in. Okay, so it's up to like I say ALB, application load balancer, to which EC2 machine we need to redirect that user. Okay, so it based on the resources available, based on the other users who are already logged in, and some other parameters, ALB decides that. Okay, so this is the only difference in the clustered instances. Okay, right? And rest remains same. So we have the Postgre RDS as well, in one in the AZ1 private subnet and another in different private subnet in different availability zone. Okay, any question on yesterday's part? Anything? Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, so we did this launch and this. Now, next lesson that we will cover is specifically on the our project setup and environment setup, right? And the UI detailing, and then we'll create our jobs. Okay. So, uh, project, right? So project in Matillion is a kind of workspace where you can create your jobs, where you can run your job, create your variables and everything, right? So that is a project. Okay, and multiple projects can be grouped together within a single project group. Okay, right. S- So we'll see how to create that. Um, the another thing is the environment setup, right? So till now, if you see that we have just launched an Matillion instance, okay, but nowhere we did tell uh, to Matillion that which Snowflake account I need to connect. Okay, right? So that is what the environment is, right? So environment, you can say, that describes a connection between your Matillion instance and your database platform, right? So in our case, it's a Snowflake platform, right? So that database platform can be anything. It can be Redshift, Azure, Google BigQuery, right? Okay. Uh, and the environment also lets you define or test your cloud platform services. Okay, so what does that mean? Now, if you remember, we have attached one IAM role to this EC2 machine, right? So within an environment, we will be also able to see, the services which that EC2 has access to. Okay, yeah. So let's do that. Let's set up a project and the environment. Okay, for us. So let me just create the configuration. So for uh, s- so for Sudha and Ramana, so we have already set up your user. So please use your email ID which we have provided. Okay, and try to log in. Okay, and then I will let you know what to do. So I'm just creating the users for Fahad. Okay, so for Fahad as well, I have created. I thought you have with some different name. So it's Abdul M. Mohammed, right? Fahad?
Yeah, that's me. That's
Yeah,
my name.
yeah, yeah. So let me ping you the IP address. Okay, so you can log into that and you can check if you are able to log in using the your password. So the password which I had set up yesterday, I am just pinging you that as well. So that's a default password. Okay. Uh, if you are not changed it yesterday, you can use that default password, and I will let you know like how do we change that. Okay.
Nitin, the one yesterday you ping, that is not working. I mean, I'm not able to see that
Okay,
login
okay.
page.
Sudha, right?
Ramana.
Uh, what yesterday? No, no, yesterday's IP address?
Yeah.
No, no. So I just pinged the new IP address.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So guys, if you just pay attention here for a moment, uh, so see what happens is uh, uh, whenever we launch any EC2 machine, right? So that gets the IP address, okay, and so that gets the two IP address. One is the public IP address, okay, which is accessible for the external world outside of VPC, right? And another is a private IP address, okay. Private IP address is something that is internal to AWS, internal to VPC, okay, or within that VPC range, okay. We always so private IP address is never accessible outside of VPC, okay. That's why AWS provides us or allocate us one public IP address to this EC2 machine, okay. Now since it's public IP address, okay, right, now what will happen if we stop this EC2 machine and start it again, right? This
Mm-hmm.
IP address will change, okay. Now usually what happens is in company, what they do, they allocate an ENI, that is elastic IP, to such instances, okay. So the ENI means is your IP address won't change and you can log in using a single ENI. Having said that, since ENI is an it's a paid you can this thing, okay. So uh, AWS does charges us if we attach an elastic IP to an EC2 machine, okay. So that's why as a part of training, we don't prefer to use that ENI, and daily when we start the session, so our IP address will change, right? So I will be pinging you this IP address, okay. Right. So I just pinged you one IP address. Click check with that and check if you are able to log in, okay. And at the same time, let me create one for Rama as well.
I get this message that says your connection is not private when I try to access
Yeah,
that. I
yeah. So if you click, if you scroll at the bottom, you will see proceed or
proceed.
something. Yeah, click on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
then the
then use your
username is the email ID that I gave you, right?
yes, yes, yeah. It's in the small case. Everything is in small case. Okay.
And then password is
Yeah, password also I have pinged you, and
yes, sir.
yeah, once you log in, let me know.
Yes, I'm logged in.
Yeah, yeah. So Rama, if you can check. So I have set up your user as well. Okay, and once you guys, so once you logged in, what you can do, you just close any window if you have anything pop up, and just go to project at the top left, and change my password. Okay, so please change your password as for your convenience, and let me know once you are done with that. And guys, you need to create the Snowflake trial account as well. Okay, just type in Snowflake free trial, and when you go to signup.snowflake.com, you can just provide your email address and details, and so you should be able to create your Snowflake account. Okay, and to activate that, you will need to check your email. One activation link comes there, and you can activate that.
I was able to change my passwords.
Yeah, yeah, thanks for confirmation. uh, what about others? Are they able to log in?
Yeah, Nitin. I was able to change my password.
Yeah,
Ramana.
yeah, yeah, Ramana. What about Sudha? I think Fuad confirmed, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What about Sudha and Ram? Mm,
Yeah, done now.
okay. Um, Sudha, I'm audible to you?
Yeah, okay. It is
Yeah.
connecting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's connecting. That's great. Yeah. Sure. So what you can do, you can just go to project and then change my password. Okay. So just put your current password and the new password and change your password. Okay. Now, just confirm me one thing. So, did you guys, created the Snowflake trial account?
No, I have not yet.
Yeah. So, go to, just in Google, just type in Snowflake free trial or go to signup.snowflake.com. Yeah, you can and just create it. Maybe would you like to share your screen, Fahad? Others can just see that.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, if you're comfortable, you can share. Otherwise,
Yeah,
no
sure.
issues.
It's not a problem. I'm actually doing it on a different laptop than the one I'm logged in for this session.
Oh, okay. Sure, sure. No issue. That's fine. So usually try to join from same laptop. This is because I have seen so during the sessions, right? So some of the things when we do the lab practices, some of the things don't work, right? So during that, I may ask you to share your screen, right?
Right. So if
Yeah.
you give me just a few seconds while you work with the other students,
Sure, sure.
I'm going to log in into this conference from a different laptop and then drop off.
Okay. Sure, sure. Yeah. What about Ramna and Sudha? Uh, you guys were able to create the Snowflake trial account?
Yeah, yeah, I created yesterday itself.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. What about Sudha or Ramna?
Yeah, yeah. I also created.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, okay. Now, what you need to do, guys, or okay, let's Fahad join.
Nitin, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Right, I'm back on a different laptop. Do you want me to share my screen or?
No, no, that's okay. I think everyone has created their Snowflake account, so that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah. So guys, okay, sorry, let me share my screen. Okay. So guys, as a next step, whenever you get this Matlin IP address, right, in your organization as well, right, usually your admin, right, who manages your Matillion, he or she will create the project. Okay, right. So project is just an workspace area, right, and we can create multiple projects within the same Matlin instance, okay, based on our you can say uh, team and or anyone, right, but don't create projects for application specific. Okay, so if you are having a one team which is getting data from multiple applications, okay, don't create different projects. Okay, for your team always have a single project. Okay, so that so that all the logical jobs or everything you can see at one place. Okay, right. Now to create the project, now what we'll do, we will all create our own independent project for now. Okay, and then you all can work within your project only. Okay, so what you can do, uh, you just need to click on project on the top left and click on switch project. Okay, when you do that, there is an option at the bottom left, that is create project. Okay, so just do this and okay, I hope you are able to get to this screen, right, the create project screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So within that, now see here we just need to enter the project group details. So project group is just that we can have multiple projects within a group. Okay, so you can so you must be selecting seeing this group Matillion CD. So you can select that, and then you can give some project name, right? Let's say I'm giving something called Nitesh MTL. Okay, so you can give with your own name. Okay, so that is easy to identify that project belongs to which person. Okay, so give something like your name as in project name. Okay, and then job project description if you want to provide, it's optional. And then we need to create next. Okay, and then
Check
if you
the include, do you check the include samples or
yes, yeah, let
what does
everything
that do?
be these are just two sample jobs which Matillion provides.
Okay.
Yeah, and just click on next, and then we need to give the environment name. So as I said, environment, here we are giving two details when we create environments. First detail is AWS credentials, and another detail is Snowflake connections. Okay, so just give some environment name. So usually what we follow as a standard, okay, env, the environment name is kind of env, and then maybe what your dev prod or anything, or for now I can do my project name. Okay, Nitesh project dev, like this. Okay, so this is my environment name which I have created. If you want, we can give all in capital like Nitesh dev. Okay, Nitesh Matillion dev. Okay, so I have given this as an environment name. Okay, and now what it is saying here, AWS credentials. Okay, and here we are an option called instance credentials. Okay, so if you can just pay the attention for a moment here. uh, Now if you just click on that manage, right, manage credentials, what it is doing, like it is asking us that this instance, okay, which credentials should this instance use, okay, to connecting to any of the external AWS services. Okay, and what we are saying here, that use an instance credentials. Okay, so what does this instance credentials means is the role which we have attached to this instance, those credentials will be used. Okay, and if you see the test, right, if you see here, it has access to S3, it has access to SQS, SNS, right? It doesn't have access to CloudWatch. RDS API also have access, then KMS, DMS, already saying that check credentials. That means it doesn't have access. Okay, so what all things it have access to, or it can access, this EC2 machine or this Matillion can access S3, SQS, SNS, and RDS. Okay, but why these four, or how come these only four? Okay, so if you remember, to this instance, the role which we have attached, okay, yeah, so the IAM role which we have attached yesterday, right? So this IAM role, to this IAM role we had provided some you can say some permissions, right? So those permission it is invoking basically. Okay, so if you see, it has access to RDS, S3, SNS, and SQS, and these four it is coming here: SNS, SQS, API. This. Okay, if I provide access to DMS, okay, it will have, it will my Matlin instance will be able to access the DMS service as well. Okay, still if you want to add some external, you can say not external, but custom credentials, you can add that from here as well. Okay, you just need an access key and secret key. Okay, for that service. Okay, but usually this is not the preferred way to store your access key and secret key, and even the cloud team will not allow you or will not provide you the access key and secret key in production. Okay, what they will tell you is whatever the access you need, just tell us. They will just come here and modify the IAM role and provide the access to this IAM role, so that once they provide the access to IAM role, your EC2 instance will get the access to same. Okay, clear here? Any question?
Bit unclear here.
Yeah. Sure. It is just an access part. We're just saying that use the instance credentials. And instance credentials means the credentials which are attached to this EC2 machine, which is this intern, which is this IAM role. To this IAM role, we have attached few permission through policies. Okay. So
But then where have
let's,
we defined that IAM role in this? So in the AWS credentials, you're saying use the instance credentials, right? Where
yes.
have we defined those instance?
Yeah. So instance credentials means the credentials which have attached to this instance. So this is the role that we have attached to this instance, right? Correct? Yeah.
Okay,
So what is this? This my Matlin application is nothing but this EC2 machine. Correct.
okay,
And this
okay.
to this EC2,
That's
EC2
right.
machine, we have attached the one role, and we have given certain permission to this role. That means,
Okay,
right? Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Okay. When you click on next, now it will ask you for the Snowflake credentials, right? Because till now we haven't told to Matillion that to which Snowflake account I need to connect to. Okay. What you can do is you can just come to your Snowflake workbench, just log into your Snowflake workbench, and then uh, you know just copy your Snowflake URL from your account name till AWS or till snowflakecompany.com. Anything is fine. So I'm copying this, okay, and I'm putting it here, okay. And the username, you can use the username which is kind of sysadmin user, okay, just to avoid any permission related things. So my username is Techidor.
But Nitin, while creating the account at Snowflake,
Mhm.
right? Do I select which edition, standard, enterprise, or business?
Standard.
Standard, and
Standard.
then cloud provider would be
AWS.
okay,
Yeah.
and region would be any
Select your
specific or
nearest one. AWS, select the Mumbai.
okay. I'm in US. Does it make any difference?
Uh, okay, you are in US. Then no, no, no. So then you can select your US as well. No
US
issue.
regions, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Do you want to share your screen? If you want, I can help you. No issues.
Yeah, sure, I can share. But
Yeah.
I think I'm so far I'm okay. But I can share it.
Okay. Yeah. So you can just share so that I can guide you about that setup as well, so others can also follow.
Let me know when you see my screen.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what I checked so far. Standard Snowflake edition. I've checked AWS, and then this is the region.
No, I think it is not yet coming from me.
Oh,
Others.
No, me also same.
Yeah.
okay. I think it should come now.
Do you have that BlueJeans installed, or you're logged in from the web
Okay.
URL?
I'm a web URL, but
Yeah, it is coming now.
okay.
Yeah,
So just chose the standard edition, AWS, and then one of the
correct.
local US regions.
Yes, yeah. So everyone, you can just follow this.
Oh,
Mine
Yeah.
disconnected. Matillion is not getting login again.
Who is this? Sudha?
Yeah.
Disconnected. Um,
Just I clicked on back. It I got
okay.
error and it's not getting login again.
Okay. Yes, we will see. You can just drag that Fahad towards left that slide bar.
Oh,
Then
okay. That's
yeah,
what
then
I have to stop sharing this for
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Got it. Okay. Probably I think Sudha, you can share then if you have those issue, right? Just share your screen.
I'll relog in actually. I'll log
Okay.
in through.
Sure. Yeah. I have pinged that IP, right? So you can just check in the chat and you can log in. Okay. Yeah. Let me share my screen. So let me know, Fad, once you are done with your Snowflake account. And for Ramana, since you already have that Snowflake account, you can just copy and paste your Snowflake account name till AWS, enter your username and the password. Okay.
It says I'm signed up now. So just go to, once I say, I can just go to Snowflake, click on that, right?
Yeah, I think you must have got an email, and that will have your unique account URL.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. And you need to activate.
Okay. And
So Nitin, we need to use DB as demo DB.
Yes, yes. So yeah, if you're on next screen, select your role as sysadmin, warehouse as compute WH, DB as demo DB, and info schema as public. And once you're done that, just click on the test button. Okay. So test is something, it will just say whether you are able to connect to Snowflake or not from Matillion. Okay.
so on the
So
username, do I have to select a username when I follow that link?
yes, I think that is the kind of a sysadmin user. So that is the first time. So you will need to set up. Okay,
Okay.
username.
So once I followed that link that came in my email, right? When I followed that, right? It says welcome to Snowflake. Please choose a username and password, right? This is
Yes,
where I can choose anything,
exactly.
or
Yes, yes, exactly. You need to select that basically. Basically, just type in your username. That is a new username, and that is a first time setup. Okay.
right? So I can just choose anything. It's not
Yeah.
assigned me a username, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Anything, anything.
Can I share the screen actually?
Yeah, sure.
Nitin, just one last question. So concurrent connection, should I use multi-cluster or only one?
No, as of now, only one. I will tell you what
Okay.
is the relevance of that.
Okay.
Okay, later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think someone wants to share the screen.
Nitish, here we have to provide Snowflake details, Snowflake DB credential, right?
Right, right, Ram.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
Yeah. The Snowflake username and password,
oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Your account,
Normally, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And since we have, launched our individual Snowflakes, right? Then you will have your own individual Snowflake accounts, right? Yeah. Yeah. Who is sharing this?
Yeah, Sudhakar, Sudha.
Yeah, yeah, Sudhakar. Yeah, you
Able
just
to
click
see my
OK.
screen?
Yes, yeah.
It is coming like this actually. I cannot find top options. Page is
Okay.
like
No,
this
no, no.
7 minutes.
So just click OK here for now. At the bottom you
Where
see
here?
OK. Yeah, at the bottom you see OK. No, no,
Bottom,
oh,
top,
bottom.
bottom I cannot see.
But I can see your OK screen, right? I think everyone is able to see.
Yeah.
Just do zoom in.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh, Now you have entered your environment name. Now click on next.
Manage.
No, click on next. That is just an option I have just shown you. Click on next at the bottom. Yeah. Now, do you have your Snowflake workbench open?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to that Snowflake workbench. Copy that URL from that starting with OU67, right? No, no, not entire. Starting with OU67 till AWS. Yeah, till AWS only. And don't copy HTTPS. Okay. Yeah, just AWS until OU6. That's correct. Okay. Yeah. Now go back to Matillion and yeah, paste that username. Give your Snowflake username, which you used to log in.
Account is like this one. Huh?
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, and the username. Give your Snowflake username, which you were using. Yes, is I think Sudha Kanni. Right?
No, no.
Yeah, and password is your Snowflake password. which you use when you log into Workbench. No. So username is only Sudhakani, right? You see when you go to Snowflake Workbench, it's not Matillion username. Okay. Just go to Workbench. Yeah. You see at the top right that username, right? Sudhakani. So that is your user. Okay. So that's it. Or you need to give, and password. Give your Snowflake password that you use to log into Workbench. Yeah. Select password only. Yeah. And give in the password tab. Provide your password. Okay. Yeah. Now click next. Yeah, here in the drop down, default role, check in the drop down. Yeah, click.
Nothing is coming.
Okay, no, then I think your Snowflake credentials are not working. So the password that you have given for Snowflake, that is not working. No, so just log out from Snowflake once. Just log out from here once. So at the top right, you would see the logout. Yeah, and then yeah, which is this password? This password we need. Okay, the one that you have entered here. Not sure what is there, but yeah, and your username should be that Sudha Kenny. Okay, yeah, just enter the password. Maybe if you if you have stored this password on the Chrome, you can also see there if you don't remember. Yeah, so this password we need, you need to put in Matillion. So just click on back here. Yeah, enter your password. Yeah, now click next. Yeah, take in the, yeah, now select sysadmin as a role. Yeah, default warehouse as compute WH. Yeah, default demo DB and public schema, and just click on test. Public schema. Yeah, click on test and check if no, that is fine. Concurrent connection don't need to increase. No, click on test here on the left. You see, yeah. So it should be a success there. So that means when you click, when it is success, so your connection between your Matillion and the Snowflake is successful, right? Okay. Now click finish. Now you see this is your project, okay, and this is your Matillion project. Now here you can do
These
your
are
lab
default jobs.
practices. Yes, these are default jobs. Okay. Now, yeah, if you can stop sharing, I will share this.
Nathan, can I share my screen? I need some help.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so here's where I start, right? So just create a project.
Yes. Give some project name with your name.
Right?
Yeah. No. So see, go to back. So always in like Matillion, right? In real time environment, don't give any environment specific name to your project. Okay. This is
Correct.
because now let's say if you have you usually in real time you will have 3 instances of Matillion. Okay. One would be in mostly for
Correct.
dev and QA, another for UAT, and another for production, right? And all
Right.
these in all these 3 project environment, you will have
Project
a
number.
same project name. Okay. Yeah. 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 Click next. Yeah, give environment like say env underscore. Yeah, environment you can give as a specific dev QA. That's fine. Okay. So env underscore dev MTL or something like that you can give. Okay. Yeah. Click next.
Like environment name means like here region you mean to say like dev or test like that we need to go like all
Uh,
together
mhm.
dev and test production will be available in same page or what?
That is also possible. That is also possible that if you can have a single Matillion instance and you can create, let's say, 3 different environment that will connect to 3 different Snowflake account. Okay, one is dev, one is QA account, the UAT account, and another is a production account, and then you can run the same job, okay, in 3 different environments. But that is not, feasible, or that is not the standard practice that we should follow. We should always have a different instances for all of your environments, right? I mean, for dev you should have one instance, dev and QA, let's say, combinedly. For UAT you should have one another instance, and for production you should have another instance. Okay.
And so, and the password, right? Should I say password or private key?
Yeah, password. We'll just have, yeah, give your Snowflake username and password. I think, and the account you will need to select the AWS as well, .aws.
Nitin, generally in the real time, we will be having
Okay,
service
there is
user
no,
ID.
there is no AWS there. Sorry.
No, there
But
is no AWS.
okay. Sorry for that. Then you can skip that. Yes, click next. Yeah, and the drop down select the sysadmin as default role, compute WH as a warehouse, database as in DemoDB, and then schema as public, and select test. Yeah, click on text. Someone was asking something.
Nitin Ramana here. So
Yeah, Ramana.
generally in real time, we will be using service user ID password, right?
Yes, exactly. Right. So what would happen in real time is in Snowflake, your Snowflake admin will create the service user. Let's say he will create the service user for dev environment, another for UAT, and another for the production. Okay. So, and that service account or service username we need to use in this while creating a connection. You are right. Yeah. Click on finish. Yeah. So these are just 2 sample jobs that they have provided. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you can just stop sharing.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope Ram, you're also done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so since I already have one project created, now when I go to project, okay. Yeah. Now let's see some, like, before we start developing, right? So let's. I just want to make you aware on the different options or different UI detailings. Okay. So we have different menu. Okay. So we have this as a project menu. Then we have this as a navigation panel where all of our jobs will be listed. Then this is what we call as a job canvas. Okay. And then we have component panel, shared job panel, and the prop environment panel. Okay. Yeah. And then we have this as a properties panel where if you select any component, the properties of that component will get appear here. Okay. If you don't select anything, nothing will come. So the properties are always component specific, right? So if you select any component, its relevant properties will appear here. Then here we can see the task panel. So whatever the job that we run, we can see the job history for that particular job. Okay. And then we have this admin menu and the help menu. Okay, so these are the UI detailing option. Now let's go and let's explore few of the things under UI detailing, and then we'll build some job. Okay, so we'll go in more detail with each and every options. Okay, but you can just to make you aware of the options, I'm just you can say driving you through these options. Okay, so if you see in the project on the top left, there are multiple options. Okay, so if you click on switch project, let's say if you have different projects and you want to switch. Now if you see here, the Fahad has created one, Ram has created one, RA is, I think, Ramana, Sudha, okay, and this is mine one. Okay, so I can see multiple project. Okay, in real time for your team there will be a single project only, and let's say if you want to do some POC, you will create another project. Let's say your team name underscore POC. Okay, like that. Okay, but usually you will have a single project and that everybody will be able to log in. Okay, right, and then you can select any other project and just click on this and click on OK. I will be able to log into that project. Okay, so currently I'm in my same project. Okay, manage project is to just provide an access to the user. Okay, this is again an admin task. Now if you see, these are all the users, okay, and on this MTL project, all of these users have access to, okay. So for now, let me remove these accesses, right? So only myself is having access to this project, okay. And if you see that if you remember EC2 user, so EC2 user is a default user when you launch the Matillion, okay, and that is a kind of an admin user, you can say, okay, right. Now this is how you can just manage. If you just want to rename the project group, you can click on and rename that project group, okay. If you want to delete the project, input data report is something, that is internal, just an report of this project. um, Manage version, right? This is pretty important, okay. Now you see, like, just try to relate with your any existing previous ETL tools that you have worked upon, okay. So let's say if you have worked upon Talent, what you do usually is you install the Talent installer on your laptop, right? And let's say if you have 5 team members, all of the 5 team members will install their own individual Talent software, right? Okay, that means they have their own workspace area for them, correct? Right? Suppose myself, I cannot go and work on the Fahad's Talent, right? Because that is installed in his own version, or sorry, own laptop, right? Now here, if you see, we all 5 persons have logged into a single URL, right? Okay, so everybody is logged into a single URL, right? Okay, and if in a real time, when you have, let's say, 5 team members or 10 team members who are working in your same project, and they will obviously log into the same URL, okay. But when you logged in, right, to separate out your independent workspace area, okay, you will need a version, okay. So version is nothing but your independent workspace area, okay. What does that mean? If you see, default is a version which comes, which is a default version, okay. If you see here, there's a default version, okay. Now uh, now let's say we have, let's say, another team member. Let's say for myself, I can create another version, okay, right? So let's say I'm creating version with my name, let Nitesh workspace, okay. So I have created this version, okay. Now I have 2 versions, default and Nitesh workspace, right? Now if, let's say, if I have another team member, the admin will create another workspace, let's say mostly with his name, okay. Let's say I have Fahad, so I am creating a version for him, Fahad workspace, okay. But remember, this is within our project, okay, because in real time all of us will be working on our own version, okay, right? So I am into this thing. Now what I will do, what usually we do in development environment, right? Whenever we log into Matillion, right, everyone will log into the same URL. So what they will do, they will, first thing that they will do is they will come to version and they will switch to their version, okay, right? Now this is my workspace, okay. So I can do anything here. Let's say if I don't need these 2 jobs, okay, I can simply delete these jobs, okay. So I have deleted this job, okay, right? But these jobs will be present in my default or Fahad version, okay. If I switch to here, right, so if you see, this is become my independent workspace area. Now what if I don't have any version and all of my developers or team members are working on the same default version, right? So if they do, right, what would happen is, if you are working on certain jobs, okay, if you're working on certain job, he or she might change your job accidentally, right? Okay, right. So just to have your own personal independent workspace area, you will need to create the versions, or what we call them as a workspace or version, right? So mostly in development environment, yeah. So prior to that, so I just forgot to say that. So if you want to take the notes, you can take the notes, okay. Which means, if you want to have some write some notes on your own, on your pen and paper, you can do that. So this I have seen that sometimes, if if we forget something, right? So people have to go and watch the entire recording, correct? So again, he will have to see where exactly that topic is covered. So if you feel somewhere that you should note this, you can note it on your pen and paper. Okay, yeah. So this, as I said, this version is an independent workspace area or right. So where developer or team member can work, right? So with this, let's say if I have created one workspace for myself and one is for Fahad, right? We both can work in our own workspace, right? Right? It is something that I I will not touch the Fahad jobs and he will also not touch the my job, right? Because we are working on some different tasks, correct? Right? So this is why these versions are important, and in development environment you will have the multiple versions, mostly with for each developer you can create these versions. Okay, now when you go to UAT and production, right? So as we know that nobody will directly change the code in UAT or production, so there we will have always a single version which is a default version. So there we will not create any developer specific versions or workspaces. Okay, so here, understood this? Any question here?
Yeah, nothing but like others cannot work like others by using workspace, right? Is that right?
No, they can. Ideally, they can. Okay, but accidentally, if you want that, someone has, switched to your version, right? Or you don't want to accidentally switch to your version, what you can do? You can just click on lock version.
If I like others cannot work, cannot
Others cannot work, but they cannot change anything.
they can have they might have get read only access.
Correct, like that. Yeah. Okay. So, and if you want to delete, I can simply come here and delete this. Okay. Right. There is another, way that you will qualify for an as an independent workspace area, that is using the Git. And we have that topic to be covered, that when you have your own version in developer environment, and when you worked on your own independent Git branch, that makes you a private workspace area. Okay, so I will let you know on that as well in upcoming sessions. Okay, now I'm so clear on this part. Okay, yeah. Now what I want you, if you're in your project, just go to project and just click on manage version and just try creating one version here. Just it is just for you should just get look and feel of this UI, right? So just go to project, go to manage version, click on plus, create some version, give some version name, unlock it. If you want any description, give it. Otherwise, you can just keep it. This is optional, and just click OK. Okay. So test I have given, and then uh, try also switching to that version as well. Okay. So at the right there is an option called switch version. If you click yes, switch, then you would be in that version. Okay. Yeah. Done, everyone. If you have switched again, go to manage version and switch back to your default version. Okay, which you were in. Just deleting them. Okay, just switch back to your default version.
Even though when I switch between my default and a new version that I created,
Mm-hmm.
on the left navigation window, right, I still see default as my um,
Okay. version.
So
No,
in
no.
this case, right, what you're seeing, right? So in your case also, right, I can see default, right? As
No, yeah. So because I have switched back to default. So again, go back to project, go to manage
yeah.
version. Yeah, when you create, right? So you will need to switch the version. There is an option to switch it. Okay. Uh, so let's say I'm clicking here.
I see.
So you see the switch version as one symbol.
Right.
So click
Okay.
on that switch version and then click OK. When you click
Okay. Yeah.
OK, yeah, we should
Okay.
see
Yeah.
that
Yes.
version.
It worked. It worked.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now again, go back to your version, default version. Okay. Yeah. Now, so just remember, this is just an independent workspace area, right? So the way we have our own laptops, okay, we work on our own laptops, right? When you install any software like an Oracle database, right? Here, since we are login to a single URL, just to segregate our workspace area, we create the versions in mostly in development environments. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, prior explaining the next thing, let's directly jump on and create a sample job. Okay. And we'll come back to this again. Okay. Now, um, yeah. Now what we'll do, we'll build our first job in Matillion. Okay. Now, maybe you can note it down. So in Matillion, we have two types of jobs. One is an orchestration job and another is a transformation job. Okay. So the way in Informatica we have mapping and workflows, right? Okay, the same way here we have orchestration job and the transformation job. So you can relate the mapping to transformation job and workflows to orchestration job. Okay, so orchestration is just to orchestrate your flow, okay, and getting the external data. Okay. So what Matillion says is whenever you have anything or any data which is outside of Snowflake and Matillion, okay, then you will need to use an orchestration job to bring that data. Okay, now consider that we have a file in S3, right? So S3 is an external to Snowflake, right? It is also external to Matillion, right? Then we need to use an orchestration job, because if we create orchestration job, their external components are available. Okay, so that we can simply drag and drop those. Okay, so what does Matillion, says, or what is the use of orchestration job? The first use is to orchestrate your flow, right? The way we do it in workflows in Informatica, right? And another is to get any of the external data. When I say external data, the data which resides outside of Snowflake and Matillion. Okay, you might have the data in your uh, my MySQL database. You might have data in your RDS database. You might have the data in your Couchbase database. You might have your data on an API endpoint, or you might have some files to be loaded from S3. Okay, so these all are the external sources for me, right? So if you have any data which is outside of Snowflake and Matillion, right, and that you want to bring to the Snowflake, right, so you should create an orchestration job. Okay, and what does the transformation job is? So once your data is in Snowflake, okay, then to transform your jobs, okay, to transform your data, you should use the transformation job. Okay, so we will get to know more in detail. Okay, now first we have a use case that we I have one file in our AWS S3 environment. So this is my bucket name, test mtl2, and I have these three files in my S3 bucket. Okay, so so this is usually a requirement, right, at the client side. So what usually client or business will say that, hey, I can put my files on S3 daily and just load them to Snowflake and just do further processing, right? Or our upstream system, usually that is the thing, our upstream system or any other team within our organization, if we want to refer to their data, they can also put their files on S3, right? And then we can load those files from S3 to Snowflake, right? Now I hope the scenario is clear. We have the files at S3 location, okay, and we just need to load them to Snowflake. Okay, so let's try that out. You can first pay attention Yeah, so this is my project. So I can create multiple folders here, based on my need. Okay, whatever the thing. So let me create a folder here. Training job, or let's say, yeah, training jobs 2. Okay, so I have created this folder. Okay, and now to create a job, what you need to do, just right click on this folder, and you see there is option add orchestration job and add transformation job. The jobs with the blue icon are the orchestration, and the job with the green icon are the transformation job. So I will write. So what I did, I just created one folder by clicking on default on my workspace or version, created one folder. Then I just right click on that folder and add orchestration job. Okay, since I need to load data from S3 to Snowflake, right? So I will create an orchestration job because that data is not yet present in Snowflake. Once that data is present in Snowflake and you want to play around that and you want to build some transformation, build some data marts and everything, you will use the uh, uh,
Yes.
transformation job. Okay, yeah. So I'm just creating this. I'm just saying one load people data. Okay, so I have this, not people. Let's load order data. Okay, I'm just saying load order data. You can give some description here if you want. Okay. Before that, let me just zoom in this page. Yeah. Okay, so I have created one orchestration job, and when you create a job, this is how it will have one default component, which is start. Okay, now here if you see in the components panel, you will have different components here. SNS, you will have different connectors, you will have different DDL statement, right, alter table and all. Okay, now see, okay, so whatever the things that you do here, okay, these all are Snowflake related because this Matillion is currently connected to a Snowflake data warehouse, right? It is not connected anywhere to Redshift or Google BigQuery, right? So all of this component or all of these options will be Snowflake specific. Okay, so I will let you know more in detail when you come back to transformation job. Okay, so there are different components that we can use. We have iterator component, we have scripting component called bash and python, then we have transaction component, begin, commit, rollback. We have different variables and all. Okay, so as of now, what we'll do to load any file from S3 to Snowflake, we have S3 component, okay, which we call S3 load. Okay, so I'm just typing here S3 load. If I just do S3, there is S3 unload as well. So S3 unload is a reverse thing. When you want to unload data from Snowflake to S3, then we use the S3 unload. Now since here we need to use the S3 load, what I will do, I will just drag and drop here. Okay, so if you see, the link is automatically connected to my start. Okay, right? Okay, and when I go nearer to my start component or any other component, my link is automatically connected. If I go a little far, that link is disabled. So either I can do this or I can just type in this and then I can connect it. And when the second hollow circle appears at the second component, then I can release my mouse click. Okay. If I want to add another component, I can simply add this like way and then I can expand it. Okay, right? So let's say I'm just pulling out this S3 load component right here. Now you can just pay attention in S3 load component, right? You now here, as I mentioned, that there are different properties, and when you click on component, then only you will see the properties. Okay, so I clicked here. This is my S3 load component, which will help me to load my file from S3 to Snowflake. Okay, now just stage, you can just keep it as custom now. As of now S3 object prefix. Okay, if you click here on the three dots, you will get to see the bucket name, right? So if you see test MTL bucket, now this is my test MTL bucket, and here it is showing me test MTL2 bucket, right? Okay, now how this my Matillion is able to list this bucket name here, right? How does my Matillion knows that this bucket is available on this AWS environment? Okay, this is because of the
that makes
credentials.
sense. Yeah.
Yes, because of credentials. So if you see here and check the role which is attached to this here in the policies that we have created, yeah, in S3 if you see it has access to list. List means list the buckets. Okay, right? So this is how it is using the instance credentials. So I'm just selecting, clicking on that bucket name. I'm just clicking OK here. Okay. Now in the pattern, so this is the pattern we need to give as per the regular expression which S3 support or AWS S3 support. Okay. So my file name is, if I come here, so let's say I need to load my order.txt file. Okay. So what I will do, I will just what I will do is I will just give them orders dot txt. Okay, and then dot star. If you just don't give dot star, then what happens? This regular expression doesn't work, and this is an S3 regular expression. So we need to give dot star, then orders dot txt, because my file name, if you see in capitals orders, then small dot txt. Okay, so I have given orders.txt, right? So with any of such component, okay, when you want to bring data from any of the component, the component will always ask you for two things. Okay, one, it will ask you for the source detail, right? And another thing, it will ask you for the target detail. So our target will always gonna be a snowflake, and my source, it differs, either it can be S3, any RDS database, any endpoint, rest. Okay, so here I have given my S3 object, that is bucket name, then my pattern, then just keep this encryption for now. This is an KMS none S3. Okay, so since our bucket is not encrypted, we're not given. Authentication is the credentials. Okay, so which credential is it should use. So it will use the instance credentials. Okay, now this we have set up the source related information. Now let's set up the target related information, which is my snowflake, so which is my warehouse. Now you see here environment default, the database as environment default, it has shown, right? One is the environment default, another, and we have these three databases within that. So what exactly this environment default means? Okay, that means when you come to environment, when you created this environment, right, when we created the project, right, if you right click and edit the environment, okay, if you remember, we have given this defaults, it is asking for snowflake defaults, right? Okay, so environment defaults mean whichever the default value that we select here, those it will pick, those my job will pick. So my default database is DemoDB and default schema is public. Okay, if I don't specify anything here, it will pick up the DemoDB, and if I need to specify, I can still use my public. Okay, if I warehouse, now I just have one. If I need to select different, I can just select that. Okay, right? And now target table, right? So once you select your database, your schema, then it will just show you what are the target tables which are available. Okay, now we are gonna load this in SF order table. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Warehouse name, how it got?
Yeah, so just drop down here warehouse name, and here it is, right?
Actually, like warehouse name,
Yeah.
Snowflake connection.
Yeah, Snowflake connection, right? Again, right? Yeah, so that's a good question that you asked. So what it does, right? So whenever you give our Snowflake connection, right? Okay, so here we have selected this default, we have selected this the sysadmin as role. Whenever you connect this Matillion to Snowflake internally, you know, to populate all these values, okay, Matillion queries the Snowflake system table. Okay, we know, right? Always we have the some of the system table like information schema, let's say sys dot tables and all, like in Oracle, right? So Matillion internally queries the system tables and then it fetches all such details. Okay, so that's why it is able to show you this all the databases and all the schemas and all. Okay, so even if you keep an environmental default, as I said, at the environment level we have set that database name, default database as DemoDB, it will pick up that. Okay, and now here I have selected the SF orders. So this is a table which I have already created in the public schema, and I will also provide you these details to create at your end. Okay. Now I have selected the target table, right? That is SF orders. So what I'm doing, I need to load order.txt from S3 to SF orders table, which is available in public schema, which is available in the DemoDB database using compute warehouse, right? And the load columns, these are the columns of my Snowflake tables, which all columns I need to load. If I don't specify anything, okay, all the columns will get loaded. If I want to specify or get all the columns towards right, I will just click on this arrow, double arrow. If I just want to click this, I can use the backward double arrow. If I need only specific thing, I can just select that column and I can type in the single, just click on the single arrow. But if I need to get multiple, multiple columns, I can select all these by holding the control and then click on the single arrow. It will bring me everything. Okay. Right? But as of now, I don't need anything. So what I need is just all the columns. So I can keep this blank. I don't need to select anything. Okay. Now, while loading any file, definitely you will need to define the properties of that file, right? When I say properties, you need to define whether that file is a CSV file or an Parquet file or an JSON file, right? What is the delimiter of that file? Does that file contain an headers, right? So like such details. So if you see, just a second. Yeah, if you see this orders file, so this is the file which is a tab separated file. Okay, and we have order ID, row ID, order date, ship date, then ship mode, customer ID, customer name, all such details. So it's just an order data along with the product data and the sales and quantity, right? Okay, so this is how my data looks like, right? And it has a one header, right? Okay, so here what I will do, if you check here, so just keep this format for now. If you see here, that is file type. If you click here, there are different file types which we can load. Okay, we can load Avro, CSV, JSON, ORC, Parquet, and XML. Okay, as of now, we'll just focus on CSV. So my CSV compression is nothing, so we can just keep it as auto. Record delimiter. So record delimiter is by default n. If we need to specify, we can specify using /n. Okay, and the field delimiter by default is comma. Okay, we need to define the tab, so you can define /tab. Okay, right? So this is record delimiter is my new line. Field delimiter is the field tab, right? Now skip header. Skip header is same. Since we have one header, okay, that I am that yes, I need to skip the header, skip bank line. Then you can set up all other formats. Okay, and I'm just now okay. Now let me just try and run this. Okay, so to run this, what we can do on the job canvas, just right click and we have run job. Okay, the revalidate is something. So what happens is whenever you do any change in any of the component, the Matillion triggers a validate event. Okay, just to validate whether that component is a valid or not. Okay, it is just trigger the validate event. So if I let's say drag and drop another component, okay, and let's say if I change it here and I just click OK, you see here the validate event is triggered, but it is not currently in the accurate state because we have not provided any this required input. Once I do that, yes, this is valid, right? That means it's a green. Okay, so a validate event is triggered. If you need to validate again your entire job, you can just right click and click on revalidate. Okay, yeah, this is invalid. And to run the job, just right click on canvas and run it. When you run it, you can just click here. If you see on the right, there is an arrow. You can see that, click on that arrow and you can see, okay, the data is not loaded. Okay. Okay, got it. Yeah. So since I had, let me try force load as true. And if I click on the task history, yeah, you see 9,994 record got loaded to Snowflake. Okay. Now earlier, the thing was that since I had already loaded this file to my Snowflake table once, okay, and this force load was off or force load was false. That's why it did not process that, right? So if you remember, Snowflake keeps the tracks of the files which he has loaded into the table, right? So if we want to load the same file again, we need to make the force load as true. Okay.
You did not load columns and all, right? Like you have selected only file name.
Yes, file name and table name I have selected. Okay, there is no option to select the specific columns from the file. Okay, but there is an option to select specific columns from the table. Let's say my file only has these 5 columns or 6 columns. I can select that. Okay, that I want to load only these 6 columns of my
What about
table.
source also we can select like that, right? For
No,
example, I have 10 columns.
no,
I need to select only 2 columns.
no, we can't do that using source. I mean, we can't filter out. Let's say this is my order.txt file, and let's say if I need to select only the first 4 columns, I can do that. For that case, what I need to have is I need to have some file with this format with having only 4 columns and then some data here. Okay.
Normally, like might be scenario like number of columns, but I need only 2 or 3 columns. Is it not possible directly?
Correct, correct. It is not possible directly. Then what you can do, you can load or process that file. Okay, or if you want to do that, what you can do, you can bring that file from AWS S3 to let's say your Matillion EC2 machine, cut, apply Unix command, get only first 3 columns, then create a new file and then load it. Okay, or the best way, usually whatever the file that we get a complete file, we load it to Snowflake, and that you load it into some staging area. Then from that staging, you just select only those 5 6 columns you need to load to be loaded to final table.
Yeah, what about metadata? Metadata also not required actually to fetch the file.
Yes, yes, it is not required, but what we are giving metadata is this same, right? That my file is CSV, compression is auto, my record delimiter is /n, my field delimiter is /t, and this is what I'm specifying, right? Yeah, this is my field delimiter. These tabs separated, right? I'm saying that there is a one header and I need to skip that, right? Yeah, this is one header. I need to skip that. Skip bank line false. This is I'm defining the metadata. Now I will tell you what is happening behind the scene. Okay, so if you see, yes, in SF orders, I have got the data, right? Row ID, order ID, then order date and everything. Correct? Sales, profit, quantity, my product and all. Now, what it does behind, so if you have worked on Snowflake, so Snowflake has one copy command, right? Which is used to copy data from S3 to Snowflake table, right? Correct? Copy command. And at the end, if you click on this and if you just click on this SQL, okay, it will tell you what Snowflake command it has executed. Okay, and this is how it does an ELT operations. As of now, when it loaded data from S3 to Snowflake, Matillion did not bring any data within the Matillion memory. Okay, what it is doing at the end, it is giving me a one component, right? With the component, whatever the parameter that we select, okay, it is creating a copy command, which is a Snowflake specific copy command. Okay, had this been instance for Matillion for Redshift or Matillion for Delta Lake, that Delta Lake specific command will be created here. Okay, but this we can't edit. This is just for our reference that they have provided. So if you see what if you know about the Snowflake copy command, so Snowflake copy command is used to copy data from S3 to Snowflake, right? So copy into my demodb.public.sf orders, right? So how come this? So if you see here, we have selected database as environment default, which is demodb, schema as public, and target table as sf orders, right? From where? So this is my source, right? So this is exactly, this is object prefix, correct? And my pattern is order.txt, and this is my file format. My file is of type CSV, record delimiter /n, field delimiter /t, skip header 1, all these options, and force load as true.
Where is data structure actually like it is generating directly table?
Yes, yes, it is. No. Table we have already created.
Yeah,
Okay.
that needs to be created manually, is it?
Yes. For this S3, we need to create the table manually. If we need to add this as a part of as a part of this function only, then we have this create table command as well. So we can just give some DDLs and columns and everything, and we can define that. Okay, that's also possible. But usually what happens is we is in production, right? Usually we don't drop the tables. What we do is we create the tables in production, and let's say this is in the staging environment. What I will do is I will truncate the tables. Okay, I will truncate the table before loading. Okay, so let's say I need to truncate the SF order table. Okay, right. So if you see, currently SF order has 19,000 record, right? Okay, if I run it one more time, it will just truncate it, and it will, yeah, if you see 9,994 records. Okay, but yes, the magic is it prepares a copy command for you, and it sends this for an execution to Snowflake. Okay.
So is the assumption that you had already created that table in Snowflake before running this job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now what I want you to do is uh, yeah, so I have one a GitHub package. Okay, I will just ping you the link. So just go there and download the GitHub package. Okay, just go there, and you will see the sfddl.sql. Okay, so click on that sfddl.sql, and then once you click that, there is an option to download things. Yeah, either you can just copy, or what you can do, you can simply download the entire project. So you will see the code at the right code, and then click on download zip. Okay.
What is GitHub? How it?
Yeah, GitHub is just a repository, right, to store our code and all. So this is a free repository like a GitLab, Bitbucket, right?
For example, like if like in Matillion, if you save any job and all, like it could be saved in GitHub as well.
And I think where is the download option? Click that one. Hello?
It's from the, you see that code green button, right? Click on that, there's a drop down on there.
Okay. Oh, okay, green button. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So Nitin, once those DDLs, once those download is done, what do you want us to do?
Nitesh is there, right?
Yes. Uh,
Yeah, hello. Sorry guys, I had some network issue, so I had some power cut. Yeah, so the GitHub is just a code repository. So Matillion has a way to integrate the Matillion job or Matillion code with the GitHub or GitLab. Okay, so we have that exercise as well. Yeah, am I audible, right?
Yes, you're audible. Yes.
Yeah. So what I want you now is just go to that the link which I have pinged. Okay, that
Yes, we
GitHub link.
downloaded that.
Yeah, and downloaded the project. So in the code, just download the zip. Within that, just unzip that, and you have that sfddl.sql.
Correct. Correct.
So open that, uh,
Hmm.
select do Control A, that just copy everything,
Hmm.
and execute that in your Snowflake workbench. Okay. So just paste it here and just select all and run all at a time. So these are all the tables which we'll be needing during our practices. So we have table for SF orders, returns, people, we have dim people, we have file loading info as another, we have fact orders as another table. Then we have scenarios for SCD2 dimension as well. Okay, we have a scenario to load the JSON file and flatten that as well. Okay, so all these tables will be required. So just create this table in Snowflake. Okay. So the file name that we have is sf underscore ddl, and you can just copy that and execute.
So is this typical to have such huge description or length for those varchar fields in Snowflake or
Yes. See.
real?
Yeah. See. So the varchar is variable character length, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Even if you specify the whole length, and if you just put a single character, it will occupy only a single character space, right? And when you create a table, when you don't define anything, if you just define a varchar, it will define a varchar table column with the whole length. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you give the entire thing or whether you give nothing or give only, let's say, 10 characters, right? It is still a variable character. Okay, so no need to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Nitesh, small doubt. So I'm unable to create arbitration job. So it seems disabled on it.
Okay, so this is the which project you are in?
I'm in my project. I have created Ramdev project. Under that, I'm unable to see my I'm unable to create arbitration job. That is the problem.
Okay.
Can I share?
Uh, okay, you are in the Ramdev, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can share.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, others can just try that. Just right click, or if you want to create any folder, you can create and just right click on that folder or that default version and create it orchestration job. Okay, add orchestration job is the option, and just drag and drop the um uh, uh you know uh, uh, drag
Same
and
for
drop.
me also.
Okay, it is same. Okay, I think the read-only access is there. So okay, let me provide you the right access. I think that is the issue.
Can I
Okay.
stop
No,
sharing?
no, 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 no. Let me just change it, and you can just check whether
Okay.
it's
Sure.
working or not. Yeah. So your email is Ram, right? Okay.
Yes.
And Ram Devna. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I can able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you're okay. Okay.
Yes.
Let me do it for others as well. Okay.
Not able to see your screen, Nitesh.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just setting up the permission.
Wanted to see how you're setting.
Yeah, yeah, I will let you know on that part. Because I mean, if we do that, right, so we'll lose the context. That is what.
Fine, fine.
Yeah, yeah. So we have that admin part as well. So we'll cover the administration with Matillion as well. What all things we need to administrator, right? Yeah. Can anyone like check if they are able to create the job now? Just if you don't, just refresh your page and check it.
Yes, we are able to. We are able to add orchestration and transformation job now.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, what I did, I just, from the manage permission, I just managed that permission. Okay, for your writer, not here, sorry, from manage groups. So I have added them to the writer group. Okay, that's what I did. Yeah. So what you need to do is just right click on that and create or add the add orchestration job and just add this job. Maybe how would I do this is maybe someone from you can share your screen and others can follow you. Okay, who is sharing?
I can share.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone, please follow this, right? I hope everyone is there. Just click and just right. Yeah, orchestration. Or you can give that naming convention ORCH. That is also fine. Then let's say load uh, orders. Yeah, click yes. Yeah, it says, do you want to switch to job? Yes. Okay. Now just bring in S3 load component at the bottom. No, that is S3 unload. That is for the reverse thing. Yeah, yeah. Click on that. Yes. Now release the mouse button. No. So once that hollow circle appears at the target component end, right? Then you can release. Yes. Then click it. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Now, yeah, just move it up. Now give these details. Give S3 object prefix, the third property. Yeah. Select now this bucket. You can just select that bucket name. Test
Yes,
MTL
sir.
bucket 2, right? Yeah. Um, just slide that bar, sharing bar towards left.
Oh, this one.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We can
left.
we can do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Click OK. Now we need to give the file pattern, right? Which file we need to node. So on S3 we have file called orders.txt. Yeah, the fourth option, pattern. Yes. So type in orders. Let that be as it is. Yeah, orders dot small txt.
Excellent.
Yes, and dot star is just a pattern. Okay. So guys, everyone give that pattern orders.txt dot star. As of now, encryption is none, authentication is none. Warehouse, if you want to select, yeah, just click that. It will take environmental default, but let's select that as you're practicing, right, for the first time. Let's select warehouse. Let's select database and schema. Okay. Yeah, let's select target table as well. Target table is the SF underscore orders. So you will see all the tables which you have just created. Okay.
I have not
Did you
created.
create? Not created. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just run it. Select all. Yeah, run it. Okay. Uh, yeah, go back to Matillion. Just cancel it. Just yeah, just check if it is coming directly. No.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. It will not come directly. Now, what you do probably you see at the environment at the bottom left. Click on that environment. Yes. Right click on that environment. Just do refresh. Okay. Expand that public.
Oh, sorry.
Just see if the tables. Yeah, they are okay. They are here, but we need to check if it's there in the component. Um, yeah, no. From that component itself, the target table, select that one.
Right click.
Select the table. Yeah, it's a retrying options. Yes, SF orders is a table. Okay. Now, since we have given the source detail, we have given the target detail. Now we need to provide the file properties. So format is custom for now.
Okay.
I will let you know what exactly that is.
Okay.
Yeah,
File
file
type
type is
is
CSV. Yes, that is CSV.
okay.
Yeah, and one thing is if you see,
Sorry.
if you yeah, if you can just click on that file type again, let's say, or any, yeah. So if you see, so if you don't change anything right here, let's say you want to keep that as CSV, right? If you don't change anything, always do cancel instead of OK. Okay, why? Because if you click on OK, it will again trigger and validate event. Okay,
Okay.
right? If you haven't modified any properties, always click cancel, right? And
Got it.
that's also is safe to do that, right? Accidentally if we change anything, right? Yeah, record delimiter. Now here, since we're modifying that, you can click OK, just give /n,
Vectors, right?
small n.
And
Yeah, yeah. I hope others are following the same. Yeah, now our field limiter is /t, that is tab separated. Yes, we have one header that we need to skip. That means we don't need to load that header. So type in one there, skip header one. See, all these are the options of copy command in Snowflake.
got it. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Now at the bottom, just select that force load as true. Yeah, just for the sake, if you want to run it multiple times, right? Okay.
So what does the force load do? It overrides the data.
No, it doesn't override data. So what happens? It is a Snowflake functionality, you can say. So Snowflake internally tracks which all files were earlier loaded to Snowflake table. Okay, and if we
Mhm.
try to load the same file again, okay, in the Snowflake, it will not allow us to load. But to do that, we need to make the force load as true.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. But it will not truncate the table. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, this is done. Now you can just right click and right click on job canvas, and yeah, so the if you want to do revalidate, you can click on that. It will just validate your job, that there are no syntactical errors and everything, right? So the validation is completed. Just again
And
right click.
okay, where does it show me the validation log to say there is an error or there is no
Yeah,
error?
so if you see on the task screen at the bottom, there are some red icon. That means when you
Like
created
this.
that, yeah, and it will highlight that component as well. It will highlight that component as red. Okay, so click on that component for a sec.
For
No,
which
the
one?
S3 load component
Uh,
in the canvas, in the job canvas, that S3 load component, right? Yeah, click on that. Just modify. What you can do is uh, uh,
add a comment or something.
yeah. So maybe in the S3 object prefix, remove that bucket name. Then it will not validate your job. Okay, you just remove that from the top. Yeah, delete that. Just click OK. Yeah, click OK. Yeah, okay. It is not removing that. Not sure why. No. It is not removing that, right? At that, you see. Not sure why.
Or it's
Okay.
still,
Yeah.
maybe
No. So the click on that buckets. You see that S3 bucket test template. Yes. Now click OK.
just like that,
Don't,
without selecting it.
yes. Without selecting. We just need to make sure that it is not valid. Yeah.
Invalid.
If you see
Okay.
invalid,
Got it.
and that component is also in red. Now yeah,
Right.
click on that
Yes.
and click OK. Yeah. Now just right click on job canvas and run.
So there is no save button per se.
No. It's auto save. The way we have in Google Drive when we save any Google worksheet, it's an auto save.
And
But
is there an option to do like Control Z if let's say
yes, yes, we have that option. If you just do Control Z, then it will
undo
undo that.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now just run it. Yeah. And then on the task, you see that run, right? No, don't click here. Click on the right side arrow. Yeah. That gives us the whole log. Expand that. Yeah. Yeah. You see row count 9,994 record got loaded. Okay. Now you can go back and check in Snowflake Workbench. Open a new worksheet maybe. Yeah, you can delete this. You have that for reference anytime.
Suresh,
Yeah. Either you can do select star or just expand the demo DB and right click on that. That's also fine. Yeah, public. Then right click on SF orders and preview data. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So others, so like, have you done, or any issue anyone is facing?
We not able to load download create table structure from my side. Yeah,
Okay.
just can I generate table directly?
Yes, again, that will be, additional steps. Maybe what I would say, yeah, yes, if you can just share your screen. Yeah. So we'll just finish quickly in 5 minutes, since
Yeah,
we have
in that
already
case,
on
like
time. Mhm.
able to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
my screen.
See, we can create tables, right? So, but what usually happens, so this is like based on my experience, I'm telling you, right? So in production, we don't always create the tables, right? So we create the tables once, and then we maybe, if that is a stage table, that we truncate it first, and then we load it.
Yeah,
Okay?
that is fine. Agree. My case actually not able to download.
No, no, I will help you, right? So I'm there to help you, correct? So
Access is not there. That is the problem.
which access you want?
Table structure are like to create a table structure in Snowflake.
Okay, so do you have that DDL? Go to that DDLs, which I have told you to download.
Yeah, that is what I'm not able to download. So
Yeah,
just I have.
so no, you can, right? So others have downloaded. Okay, so what you can do, just click on that link which I have provided you, that GitHub one.
Any laptop, this one is not personal laptop. Just I will arrange later.
Oh, okay. Then let me do a favor for you. Let me copy and paste that DDL. Okay, for you,
Okay.
and you can just, okay. That's fine. No issues. Yeah, and you can just copy that DDL and paste it to Snowflake. Okay. What I will do, if you want now, I can send it to your email as well. Okay, later on.
Currently, I've taken. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So just tomorrow, just ping me your email earlier. I will send you those. Okay.
Yeah, here only, right? Directly
Yes.
I can do.
Yeah. Paste it and Control A and just run it. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Okay, it's created. Yeah, table is created. Right. Go back to, yeah. Delete that create table once. That component create. No. So you have already created, right? So that's fine. The job is already created. Yeah. Just delete that. Delete component is an option at the end, or you can also simply type, press delete button. That is also fine. Yeah. Now join that. Yes. Yeah. Uh, if you can just expand the properties, that tab little up.
So now,
Yeah. Scroll that. Correct. Now, yeah, you are given right in the target table, right? Since now you have created that table, right? Yeah, click that in the drop down. Yes, it should be there. SF orders. Click OK. Then in the field delimiter, come down in the field delimiter, put /t. The way you put
slash.
/t. T is for tab, right? /t. So we need to put a backslash, not the forward slash. So the backslash we need to put, and in the slash in as well, we need to put the backslash, right? That is a um, naming conventions. Yeah, slash. That's correct. Skip header. Yes. So we have one header, so we don't want to load that, right? So just skip header and come at the bottom.
This is
Yeah,
skip header
this
actually.
is, yeah. Skip header is what we are saying, that how many lines we need to skip from the start. So if you see in our file, the first row is our column names, right? And column names we don't want to load, right? We want to load the data.
That is what I need to give one, right? One.
One. Yes, we need to give one. Now scroll at the bottom and do force load as true at the bottom. Now just right click on canvas and run it.
Where
Right
is
click.
the
Yes. Yeah, right click on. Yeah, that is canvas. That is known as canvas. So we'll go in more detail tomorrow on the canvas. Yeah. Run
okay,
job. Yes. Second option.
second
Click there
option? Name, okay.
and
See job name.
So just click on that. So you are already in that job, right? Yeah. Now click on, yeah. So you see that task history towards the right, right? That run. No. Task is what? Yeah. So on the top row, yes, that is the first row. Click on that arrow. It will open your task history. Yeah. Expand that task history from the left. No. You see that arrow, right? Again. Yes. On that line only. Towards left, yes, expanded. Yeah, you see these records get loaded using S3 load component. Now you can go back to Snowflake Workbench and you can review that once.
The new one. How to open new.
No, go to Snowflake Workbench, just right click on that table, go to public schema, click on public schema. Yeah, right click, preview data. Or you can do a select query as well, preview data. Yeah, okay. You can just expand that, you can see that. So we have loaded this file, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can just stop share. Yeah. Um, yeah, sure, guys. So, any question, guys? So just and look back what we have seen today is so we have set up this post our launching the Matillion. So we have set up the project and environment, right? So we have seen what exactly the project and how to configure the project. So we can add multiple projects as well. Okay, and then we have seen what exactly the environment is. So in environment as well, we provide two things. One is the AWS credentials, right? What we give there is a instance credentials, right? And the based on the role that is attached to that EC2 machine, the credentials will be picked up. The another thing or the most important thing that we set up in the environment all while creating a project is a Snowflake connection, right? So we tell Matillion that which Snowflake connection to use, okay, for this project, right? So we can have multiple Snowflake connections to the same project as well, okay? So we'll get into that detail more. So yeah, while providing the Snowflake connection, yes, definitely we need an account URL. Then we give username and password, and then finally we need to select the defaults, right? We select the default role. We select the service, our username and sorry, not the username, the database name, the default schema name, right? The way like that. And yes, in real time, usually the Snowflake admin will create a service account for you. Okay, so usually for that service account, the password doesn't expire that early. Maybe an yearly password expirations policy is set. Okay, and once you and later, what we have seen is we have seen the different UI detailing options. So we'll go in more detail tomorrow. But yeah, so we have different options here. So like we have project menu, we have job navigation panel, we have components panel, shared job panel, environments panel, we have properties, then task panel, and the job canvas, right? Okay, and the admin and the help menu. So these are all the details. We will go in more detail tomorrow. And then lastly, what we have seen is, we have created our first job, that how can we load data from an external S3 to the Snowflake, right? So as I said earlier, there are two kinds of job. First is an orchestration job, another is a transformation job. To get any data out of which is external to Snowflake and Matillion, you need to use an orchestration job. Okay, and once the data is in Snowflake, you can use the power of the Matillion's ELT approach using the transformation job. Okay, so in transformation job, what will happen is you can do all these transformations, okay, and all those transformation will get pushed down to Snowflake for execution. Okay, so we'll go in more detail on that tomorrow. Any question?
I think so
Anyone?
far been okay. Just a lot of information.
Yeah. So there are more and more topics to be covered later. So we have some of the development guidelines. We'll walk you through the important features. Then variables and iterators. This is the most important topic. Um, then then we have different query result component. We have that how can we access our EC2 instance. We have one external use case where we'll be loading data from external MySQL database to Matillion. Then we have shared job concepts as well. We have SCD type 2 implementation. So this is like, based on the feedback which I received from earlier batches that they wanted to see how can we implement the SCD type 2. We have some supporting components, the basic administration, the job scheduling, the Git integration part, right? Like that, yeah. So we have different things to cover as well. We have working with bash component, understanding the variable behavior, working with API, working with struct and array, right? Loading and JSON data. Okay, so let's see tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll walk you through the UI detailing first, or priorly that we can go through the transformation job, and then we'll cover rest of the UI detailing part. Okay,
Sounds good. Thank you,
yeah,
Nitin.
sure, yeah,
Hi Nitin.
yes.
I just got, logged out and logged in. I
Hmm.
lost my all mappings and all. So how can I
No,
retain?
no, that is not possible. Yeah, if you can just share your screen. I think you are not in your project now. Let's see. Others can feel free to drop. Okay, we are done with today's session. I will just check his review. Okay. If you have any important calls or a meeting, you can drop. Yeah, Ramana, you can share your screen
Yeah, yeah.
quickly. Yeah,
Can.
so your project is not selected. You see, no project selected. Now go to switch project, expand that MTLCD group,
Okay, okay.
which is
Yeah,
your project RA, right? Yeah,
yeah,
click on default, yeah, or click OK, right? Okay.
yeah. Thanks.
Sure. Yeah. Just one thing before we drop off. So see, yeah, so that my earlier student, the candidate, right, Ram, so he's also there. Um, so what we used to follow, since we all are like working professionals, right? So as I told earlier that we are going to practice it during the session itself. Okay. So do you need this instance to keep on for few hours outside of our session?
Yeah, actually, like I have a time, like I will go through.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So is it okay if I keep the session, instance on for let's say till 11 a.m. IST, and again in the night, if other people's wants to practice, I can keep that on in the night. So we can, mutually agreed upon, let's say 2 hours daily, right?
Okay, so what timings you said one more time, Nitin?
Yeah. So right now after our session, I can keep it on for another hour or so. And
Okay,
during IST night as well for Fuad, I think it would be your morning, so I can keep
correct.
it on. Yeah, so you can just tell me the timing. We can do that.
So I think best because during the morning time,
You,
um,
mhm,
I might be at work.
yeah.
So
So your night, right? That means that now only, right?
right now it's about 11 p.m. for me.
Yeah,
So it's already too late if
yeah,
I can
exactly,
do
right.
once. But
Yeah.
what I can request is at least for the next couple of days, if you can do an hour before our class starts,
Okay. Oh, okay.
if that's
Um,
possible. If you don't have any other class, right?
no,
Then what?
classes. Yeah. So it's pretty morning. Okay, let me see. If I can do that. Okay.
What do you have to do it manually? Like, do you have to? Can you like?
Yes, I will have to do manually, or basically I will need to write some Lambda function to
Oh,
start the
okay.
instance in the morning. Yeah,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah,
Let's see. If not,
yeah. See, definitely. So all of the things, right? So we will gonna practice within session. Okay, so it is not something that you will lose anything here. Okay,
right.
but yeah,
It's just
just
that
for
like
additional.
after we're done with the class, obviously, I'm
y-
sure same
Yes,
case with the rest of the folks as well. You want to try yourself to understand.
yes, and from tomorrow, I will tell you a way to launch your free trial instance as well, so you can practice there as well. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, yeah. So
Uh,
so you will have your own instance, but yes, during the session we'll practice on our own instance on your this course drill instance, and after practicing, if you want to do more things, you can explore that or in your own instance. Okay,
okay, perfect.
sure,
Sounds good.
sure, yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
Nitin.
guys, yeah, and I will also ask Azhar to create a WhatsApp group. So if you have any doubts, anything, you can.
Nitin, like where we can go, like kind of documentation material, like to practice our
Okay,
Normally,
you want
like,
to see the documentations?
help or something like will be
Yeah, yeah.
available.
Yeah, so there is a website that is documentation.matillion.com.
Uh-huh.
So you can, if you need to check anything, you can go there and you can, check the few things. I have pinged that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, they have very, detailed documentation, right? So you can go through that. But yeah, so the intention